we just introduced the Shift Daily, which is a blogging site, which is inviting millennials to voice their voices, bring their views, bring their leadership to issues that we may be confronting across the nation. Tell us about the Shift Daily and what your expectations are.
The Shift Daily launched last Saturday. Let's give it up for the Shift Daily. And basically, from the name alone, you can tell, basically, we're trying to shift the tide, shift the current, shift the times of what we know as media, as blogs. And basically, the whole staff is millennials. It's run by millennials, and it's for millennials, similar to Fubu. We have different topics from politics, arts and culture, entertainment, education, inspirational. It varies. So something, basically, you'll be interested in something on the site. It's not just geared towards politics. It's a little fun, it's a little creativity, similar to what Mr. Hardy said about what millennials are interested in these days. But it updates every day. We have some exclusive interviews coming, so it's gonna get a little more interesting as we go along. We're just starting, but if you can tell, we break different things. We talk about different news stories that are not necessarily on mainstream media. And that's one of the biggest points. That's why it was created, because sometimes the media leads the movement, but it's time for the movement to lead itself. Yeah. And this is a blog from the movement, by the movement, by young people in the movement. So that's the point of the Shift Daily.
All right. So I'm going to just, I'll start at the far end. Tell us just a little bit about yourself, if you will, and how you view your challenges as a millennial, and how do you intersect with various movements that are happening across the country. And just keep in mind, we have a large panel.
Full panel, yes. First and foremost, good morning, kings and queens. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Jay Morrison. I am a real estate investor and developer by trade. I am a part of the movement and community activist by passion and by purpose. And I guess in regards to us intersecting challenges, I run a youth movement called Young Minds Can, or YMC Community Coalition. And what I've found, how we've been able to galvanize and get our youth involved, much of what Minister Ford said, is one, waking our youth up. Many of our youth just have a basic European education on our history as Africans. And I heard the word black thrown around so much as we talk, but we don't even realize that we're Africans. Like, before we're black, we're Africans. And as we wake our youth up as to who we truly are, and we also, the murders, the HIV, and all the issues and trauma and the residuals of the treatment that we had as Africans here in America, when we realize that that's not our fault, first and foremost, but now we have to do something about it, I see our youth getting galvanized and excited to be a part of it, and using social media and using relatability, and us actually going to the youth. Not waiting for them to come here to us, but us actually going in the streets, in the prisons, and going to our youth. That has been effective for YMC.
All right. Hello, my name is Myson. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm a hip-hop artist by trade, and I'm an activist by love. Basically, I just believe that our communities, especially the millennials, they haven't been interacting with this based on the fact that they don't really understand. You know, throughout the technology has made us put value over values. You know, everyone is more concerned about what they have instead of the content or the integrity of the individuals. So when you look at technology and they promote how much money someone makes and how big their houses are, this is what the youth, this is what they strive for. So that's the things that's going on inside these streets didn't really become purposeful until now, until they start really being able to see, so social media captured it, until we seen Mike Brown dead in the streets, until we seen Eric Garner choked. I think right now this is the time for the millennials to definitely get involved, because everyone sees that it can be them. When Trayvon Martin was killed because he had a hoodie and some Skittles, I think the millennials said to themselves, whoa, this is real. You know, it's not Martin Luther King. This is something that we can grab onto. You know, it wasn't so far-fetched. It wasn't, okay, my mother used to talk about that. It's like, this boy looks like someone I know. This is a friend in my class. So I think right now, this is the perfect time for us to engage. As Jay said, we have to go to the communities. We have to go to the youth. We have to make it appealing to them. You know, we can't say, if you don't wear a suit, or if you don't talk this way, if you don't use this type of, you know, words, or if you're not as educated as this person, or you can't speak this way, then you can't really be involved in the movement. I think those are things that have detached or made people shy from it because they didn't feel like the framework fit them. You know, the youth, if you see this young man right here, they wear the afros and they wear shorts and things like that. And we have to bring people like that to the forefront and show that these people actually are activists also. They are involved in the movement. And because you don't dress the same or you don't talk the same to someone doesn't mean that you shouldn't be involved.
All right.
My name is Tola. I am an entertainment marketer by profession and a young adult motivational speaker by passion. And like my son just said, I think we need to get creative in our delivery. While understanding that the message still remains the same. I most recently kicked off a dinner series called Reservation for 10, where I bring people from the entertainment industry to speak to our young adults. Most recently, we had Rashad Drakeford from Revolt, who, yes, he's a director of integrated marketing, but he's also big in social activism. I might be in Ferguson. He might have gone to Ferguson this week, actually. And I know he marched last week, so I think that we need to take advantage and utilize the talking heads that we have that we know that the young adults are looking up to deliver the message.
Good morning. My name is Eljoy Williams. I'm a political strategist by trade and also president of Brooklyn NAACP. And so the first thing I want to do is out myself that I'm not a millennial. So I definitely want to do that. But in the overall conversation and the intersection, I think what's important is we do, particularly those of us who've been organizing or done movement work or even in our professions for a long time, we see our role as speaking to or educating to or sort of doing something to young people, and we don't do enough of listening. And so that's why it's very interesting, and I applaud the work here in creating space for millennials to create their own, but also to voice their own struggles and to voice their own issues, because I think that's extremely important that and it's important in a commitment to me to not repeat some of the same struggles, some of the same divides that the generation before me did for us. And those are important, that the breakdown in education, the breakdown in behavior, the breakdown in respect, that we're not doing this, repeating those same behaviors. And so it's really important to listen. And to take keys and cues for how we can be supportive of the issues and supportive of the struggles, because they may not be the same, and how they're experiencing different issues in their communities is something you can't put into practice. So in Brooklyn NAACP and our youth council, we allow our young people to lead and tell us what issues affect them on a daily basis. And you'll be surprised that the issues and that the decisions that they have to make on a daily basis that we never had to face, that we don't have to face in our daily life. And so I think if we're more open, number one, and sort of being able to listen instead of always being in a teacher mode, sometimes being in a student of different generations allows us to be greater and a more effective leader.
All right.
Well, how are you? My name is Andrew Feedy. I'm an attorney by trade, also a senior consultant here with a big four consulting firm. That's my profession. My passion is working with civil rights, mentoring the next generation of leaders, and community service. So I guess some of the things that I've done is try to collaborate with other young professionals. When I was in law school, the Black Law Student Association, I'm sure you were part of it. But one thing that really sparked us was the Trayvon Martin case. And I know Benjamin Crump, the Trayvon Martin attorney. He was the reason that I went to law school. I met him at 11 years old. He's mentored me my whole life. And when I graduated from law school, he was the first person, other than my mom. I sent him and my mom a plaque because they made me who I am. But what I'll say is there's a lot of young professionals that have different skills. And what I did was last year, with my friend Xavier Cunningham, Harvard, also an attorney, we came together to try to write legislation to address the issue of police brutality. So we were trying to use our skills, our talents. There's people that are in corporate America that are trying to make situations better. Young professionals that are trying to team up to use corporate assets, their skills to try to solve some of the problems. So that's what we did. We started an organization, Government for Us, and we wrote legislation to address the issue of police brutality. Because we saw a lot of protesters out there and a lot of people protesting, but we're not coming up with any legislative solutions to solve the problem. And since Eric Garner and Michael Brown, no one's offered any legislative solutions. No one's really talking about comprehensive legislation. Now they're talking about, you hear presidential candidates, they're talking about criminal justice reform, but these people weren't talking about that before, so everybody was trying to find piecemeal solutions to the problem, body cameras and things like that, but we've seen so many people get killed on camera, and we've seen their murderers get away. Yep. So we need some different type of legislative solution, and that's why I joined NAN, and that's what me and Ashley, we started a young professionals group here, because it's about young professionals coming together. It's about young professionals coming together, using their talents, using their connections to try to solve the issues that our generation is facing. At my company, I'm on the My Brother's Keeper team. We have a team there where we reach out to Eagle Academy here in New York City, bring these young men into big consulting firms, American Express, Deloitte, and we try to talk to these young men and encourage them about different career paths. And I went to the Bronx School of Law and Finance. I do a lot of mentoring. So I guess as millennials, we got to find a way to use and utilize and connect with different great organizations like NAN, like the NAACP, Urban League. Try to work with these organizations to get our message out there and see how we can contribute because these are the people that stood and made us who we are today. So it's about giving back.
Good morning, guys. My name is Clayvon Caruth. I'm a senior at St. Lawrence University. I'm a government major. I've been interning with National Action Network since 2012, and I've continued to work with them ever since. I am a millennial, so this does concern me very much. All the issues that we face on a daily basis, because my future depends on it. I mean, I can't wake up without looking at something that affects me, so I feel like I have to step up and stand up for it. And there's a bunch of youth in our generation who as many of us said before, are blind to the situation and need to wake up to it. So it's our job to connect them. We do have a technology-based generation, so although it's brought us together, it has definitely separated us a bit as well. So I believe that with the Shift Daily as a source of news, as a source of blogging from us to us, it'll be a better way for us to filter out the garbage that you usually see on your social networks and get a chance to actually read someone's perspective and make decisions on what you want to do with your life from here out.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brandon Robinson. I'm a sports and entertainment writer. You've seen my work in The Source magazine, Ebony magazine, Jet, and more, AM New York as well. It's an honor to be here. I'm a millennial, but like my buddy over here, I also am an old soul. I believe that each one is very important. And I think as much as we have technology, as much as we have access, we're selfish. I think that, we're always about ourselves and we're always just self-involved. I think that the people have lost the ability to actually communicate. I think when you have functions like this, I really felt like I was 5 years old in church, and with a bow tie on. I have one on today. But I feel like community, we've lost that. The community of church, we've lost the community. I was blessed. I had uncles, I had, aunts, I had, my family, extended family that were able to mentor me. Everybody doesn't have that accessibility. And I think as much as we have access and as much as we have status, as much as it's cool to talk about it, it starts in your community and it grows. So I think I would encourage everybody, myself, I believe in practice what you post if you're on social media. And I believe that if we continue to